Get access to exclusive tutorials and take your paracord weaving to the next level by supporting this channel on Patreon. Hey, what's going on guys? Tim here again. In today's video, we're learning how to make a paracord lucky fat man, also known as a Paraflat man. So this is just a very simple paracord pocket talisman that is meant to bring the carrier good luck and fortune. And I'll talk a bit more about this at the end of the video. So with that being said, let's get into the tutorial. So to start this one off, we're tying the good old diamond knot. So I've got my first length of paracord. It doesn't matter which color you use. I'm starting that out with the green one. Got the midpoint in between and around my middle finger. I'm going to start off by making a counterclockwise loop. You're going to lay that over the left strand, like so. So you want the left strand behind that counterclockwise loop. And it's just kind of dividing it down the middle. Now take the strand on the left and bring it behind the strand on the right. See how it's sitting just behind that strand there? And working with that working end, we're going to go over the first cord, under the middle one, and over the second one. So over, under, over, through that loop there. Rather, over top that loop. And pull that length of paracord through. And this is going to form our carrick's bend. So now we've got this kind of diamond shape in the middle. I'm going to take the strand on the right side and you're going to bring it upwards, and you want to go to the left of that strand there, right next to my index finger. So go to the left of that strand and come through that diamond in the middle. It's going from the back to the front, like so. And now with that done, I'm going to set that aside. You do the same with the left strand, but this time you're going to bring it downwards. And there's another cord in between my middle finger and ring finger there. And with that end of the left side cord, you're going to again go past that cord on the bottom, go to the right side, and go through that diamond in the middle from the back to the front. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you know this diamond knot, but let's just go through it again, of course. So we've got our diamond knot now, and we're going to start to firm it up. And all I want to do is leave a slight loop at the very top. So that way you can kind of attach a key ring if you want to, or anything else. But I'm just going to firm up that diamond knot like so, and try to get both sides of the cord even coming out the bottom. So now we're going to add our second cord, and this is an alternate way of tying the double diamond knot. So with my other cord on a fid, you see this strand on the right here? I'm just going to follow that cord, and I'm going to keep the second cord or the other color on the right side of that strand, like so. So I'm going in from the top, and I'm following the cord on the right based on those top two cords leading downwards. I'm going to pull about half of my cord through, like so. So now that I have half of my cord, now all I have to do is follow that strand going from the top all the way out to the bottom. So see, I'm going right here underneath this loop here, and I'm just following that strand. It's very, very simple to tie the double diamond knot this way. It's a little bit different. It's not exactly the same, but for this tutorial, this is what we'll be doing. So again, you see there's that cord there I'm following. I'm staying on the right side of it, and pull that cord all the way through. And you're just going to do this all the way through the diamond knot until you come out the other end at the bottom. And at this point, you'll start to be going under two cords of the original green color and that secondary turquoise color. And again, just follow that same strand, and always make sure you keep your second color on the right of your first color. And as you can see here, this is the last pass. So I'm going through the top and out the bottom, right? So I followed that one strand all the way through, and now I'm ending up, or finishing rather, the very bottom. And again, just keep that cord on the right side. And you're going to pull all that excess cord all the way through. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. Now just pay attention to where I start. So you see I have my lead strand coming out the top there. And now I'm going to go in from the bottom, or sorry, in from the top. I'm going to work my way through underneath those 4 cords. And we're going to start following that strand there. Okay. So I'm going to pull that cord through and pay attention to where the excess cord lies. You see how it's slowly coming around that top loop there? I want my cord to stay behind that loop, like so. See? So I pulled that all the way through. And now again, we're just following that same green strand. And you'll know because it's the single one now. The other strand has 2 cords running side by side. Now again, I'm just following that one single strand. And again, I'm keeping that cord on the right side. You can do it on the left side if you want, just make sure you're consistent. So if you do the cord on the left side, keep it on the left. If you do it on the right, keep it on the right. And again, I'm just going to slowly work my way through my diamond knot, running that second turquoise striped cord on the right side along the green. And just continue this process all the way through again once you get down to the very bottom. And now I'm finishing up. I've got one more pass to do, and see how that green strand is coming in from the top and it's going down to the bottom. I'm gonna work my strand through. I ended up using my knotter's tool here just to make it a bit easier. And I just, opened up that knot in the middle. And again, I'm following that green strand out down to the bottom. So push that through and just get all that excess cord all the way down to the bottom. And again, notice, see my excess cord wraps around on the right side of that loop. And now we can start tying the body of the Fat Man. So I'm doing my cobra knots. I'm going to start tying my cobra knots. I've got my turquoise strand on the left. I'm going to take that, pass it in front of the 2 core strands, and bring the green behind and put it through the left side crook. Now make sure you're working with opposite colors here. Okay, you could be doing a single color Fat Man, but I'm doing alternate. So I want my turquoise strand crossing over the 2 core strands in the middle, and that's how I'm going to tie my cobra knots. So again, left side over the core, green behind, and through the crook of the turquoise cord. Right, so I'm just going to continue tying those cobra knots, making my way down the body of the Fat Man. Now I'm going to tie about 10 cobra knots. It's up to you what you want the kind of proportions of the Fat Man to be, but I'm just going to do 10 knots. And notice I have opposite colors on each side. So if you look at the 2 core strands, they're alternating. I've got green, turquoise, okay? So that's what you want. You want to end up alternating. So now we're going to form the legs. I'm going to take my Fat Man and turn it upside down, and I'm going to put a bend in the turquoise strand and the green strand. And from here, again, we're just going to tie more cobra knots. And I'm staying consistent. I'm passing the turquoise strand over the core, take the green, put it behind that, and through the crook of that turquoise cord. Okay, so pull that green through, and there you go. And I'm making these legs roughly an inch or so in length, maybe just under an inch. It's up to you how long you want to make the legs. But again, the Fat Man is rather stout, so you can keep those legs nice and short. So I'm going to continue tying the cobra knots. And in this case, I tied roughly about 5 to 6 of the knots for the legs. And it ended up about 5 knots per leg. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, starting with the turquoise cord, put that over the core, green behind, and through the crook of that turquoise loop. All right, and again, I'm just going to slowly adjust and try to get those legs about the same length. So again, I'm tying 5 cobra knots per leg. So We're going to end up tying the last knot for that leg on the other side. And now again, pay attention to my cords. I've got alternating colors with my working strands, right? Green, turquoise, green, turquoise. Now watch this move. I take the green, bring it on front of the leg there, and the turquoise goes behind on the opposite side. And now I'm going to pass that turquoise strand in front of the body, bring the green behind and through the crook on the left side of the turquoise cord. Okay, that's how you start weaving back up the body with this with these cords. So if you missed that part, just rewind and check it out again. But that's how we get our cords on opposite sides. And from here, you can guess we're going to tie more cobra knots. And again, I'm maintaining that turquoise color in the middle. Continue tying your cobra knots and make your way down back up the body towards the head of the fat man. All right, and I'm going to tie my cobra knots all the way up to the very top. No need to leave a neck for him. He doesn't have much of a neck. So there we go. And now with the fat man upside down, we're going to turn him back facing right side up. And now again, we're going to go back the way we came. Again, more cobra knots. Maintaining the turquoise cord crossing over the front because I want that turquoise color in the middle. All right, and continue tying those cobra knots back down the body towards the legs. So this is essentially the third layer of cobra knots. So we've gone beyond the king cobra at this point. So we've made our way down to the waist or the kind of hips of the fat man. And I'm going to tie one more knot. So I stop just above the legs and where the other two working cords are at. Now I'm actually going to cut off those two excess cords. I'm going to clip that off, melt it, press it down with my knotter's tool. Clip that one off as well. Melt it down, press it with my knotter's tool. And now you can see we have two more working cords to deal with. And you guessed it, we're doing one more layer of cobra knots. Again, going from the, I guess, the hips of the fat man back up towards the head. Okay. So more cobra knots. And this will be the fourth layer of cobra knots, making him really, really fat. I'm going to continue tying those cobra knots. And again, I'm going to go pretty much all the way to the top. Yeah, not much of a neck on this guy, but if you want to leave him, if you want to stop a bit earlier so he has a bit more shoulders, you can do that too. But yeah, so I've come down to the very end here. And again, I'm just going to snip off and melt those excess cords and melt them down, press them with my knotter's tool. And there we have it. There is the Paracord Lucky Fat Man or Paraflat Man. This object is just a kind of lucky talisman that one keeps with them and carries with them to bring good fortune and good luck to the carrier. And the key about these lucky fat men is that they are often given but never purchased. So definitely make one of these and give these to those that you want to bring some luck to. And remember guys, a huge thank you to all my Patreon supporters. If you want access to exclusive videos on the Patreon platform and help this channel out, feel free to check that link out in the video as well as down below. And if you want more information about the Lucky Fat Man or Paracord Paraflat Man, check out the information in the description box down below.